Good morning, and I get in Chodesh is Tuesday, Parshas Koirach, Aleph Tammuz Tuvshin Pai Vuv, June 16th, 2026. My name is Gershy Schwarcz, and I'm your host with the news of the last 24 hours on Edge.
Your daily report of the news of the last 24 hours, powered by Yiddish24, provided to you by The Click.
When it comes to red lines, Iran draw one in the nuclear talks in the MOU, and they said that no final deal with the US will be signed unless they give us money and unless, of course, Israel withdraws entirely from Lebanon. Trump is pushing Syria to take on Hezbollah because Israel's campaign is a little bit out of control. A fire attack on UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer's home was found to be connected to Russia. And a woman with advanced Alzheimer's disease regained speech and mobility after taking mushrooms. That and a lot more today. This is just the tip of the iceberg, obviously. But before we jump into the funny thing with Trump as well, that he said today, which I'll play to you at the end, Kosher Skinny Shot is one of our loyal sponsors, obviously, of the month, and I have to tell that by people telling me and giving me feedback about, the ad that I, present here to you every single day on the news, that they actually used it and used their services and give me feedback about it, it feels wonderful, and it's great. So please, keep them coming. I like to hear the feedback, especially because it gives me the chizik to continue doing this every single day, besides the fact that I owe gratitude to Hashem for sending me the sponsors who can support it financially, obviously, which is a great thing. Kosher Skinny Shot, healthy living with real guidance every step of the way. Call 845-456-8924. Again, the number is 845-456-8924. Please spread this channel, like and subscribe to everyone you know who needs to hear this news on such a level, obviously. And if you want anything else, if you have any feedback, drop a comment below in the YouTube section. And yeah, also today's sponsor is Halo. Now, Halo 2 high-functioning water is purely alkaline with pH level of 8 to 9 even. And 8 to 9 means that your body needs 7.35 to stay energized and refreshed and be ready to fight whatever comes. So, the idea of Halo 2 high-functioning water is that it is already curated and, basically they designed it to be the most high-functioning water for your body, available everywhere. Check them out. The FBI says it stopped a terror plot aimed at thousands of people at the White House event this past Sunday. This event was a UFC cage fighting match held on the South Lawn of the White House to mark America's 250th anniversary. It was also President Trump's 80th birthday, and he was there, obviously. FBI Director Kash Patel says the plan was to fly small drones loaded with explosives over the crowd, set them off, and then have snipers shoot at people as they ran. The targets were top government officials and wealthy guests. The FBI says they found out about the plot on June 10th through chats on Signal app, with 23 people involved. 5 people are now in custody. One of them, named Tyken Proper, admitted he helped plan this attack. The event itself went on safely, with nobody hurt. If it's linked to Iran, we will find out tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. The US and Iran have agreed to a 60-day truce. A deal is in a page and a half long with 14 points, but the full text has not been made public yet. So for now, there is a lot of talk and guessing, and nothing is exactly certain until people can see the document. Trump says he may let Congress look at the final deal before it is officially signed. President Donald J. Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf signed the document electronically on Sunday. The agreement officially ends combat on all fronts and recognizes the borders of Israel and Lebanon. A formal signing will take place this Friday in Geneva, Switzerland. The upcoming talks will include Ghalibaf, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, and mediators from Qatar. United States envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, who recently met with nuclear experts in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, are also involved. Vice President J.D. Vance said the deal requires strict inspections and uses no American taxpayer money. This approach differs greatly from the one used by the Obama administration, the JCPOA. Now, a White House official confirmed that Trump is the final decision maker for the deal, which freezes the nuclear program in Iran. The agreement forces the Strait of Hormuz to be opened without any tolls for 60 days at least. This caused Brent crude oil to fall 4.8%, $83.17 per barrel, while the West Texas Intermediate dropped about 5.2%. Morgan Stanley cut its oil forecasts, and this price drop lowers inflation risks for Kevin Walsh's first meeting as chairman of the Federal Reserve. Wall Street reacted strongly, with the Dow climbing over 450 points to a record close. Now the S&P 500 rose to 1.7%, and the Nasdaq jumped 3.1%. Shipping maybe has to do something with Elon Musk's firm joining the Nasdaq. Shipping firms like Maersk, who cares, are still waiting for stability before moving forward. Economist Ben May warned that sailing remains dangerous on the Strait of Hormuz and physical flows of oil and fertilizer will recover gradually. May added that American fuel producers will take months to normalize prices because of backups at the ports. American spies and security officials are already seeing problems with the U.S.-Iran Memorandum of Understanding, the MOU, the deal that's supposed to be signed already. CIA Director John Ratcliffe, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio told Trump about secret messages inside Iran. These messages say that the opposite exactly of what Iran agreed to. U.S. officials say they will know in 2 to 3 weeks if Tehran is serious, though Trump announced that the full text may be shared after Friday. A reporter asked Trump why he won't release the text now before Friday. Trump responded,
I'd like to get a formal setting first before we do that, but I have no problem with that. It's a good document. Here's what it says. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. That's what it says. It won't have one. To buy, to develop, they will not have a nuclear weapon. And I would say that's about 99.9% of what I wanted, because we couldn't let that happen. You couldn't let
It's 99.99%. So in other words, that 0.001%, I'm wondering about that part. Well, we have to see the document. So, if there's no document, there's no speculation to be made. And there's no point in making speculations. I know many people have made speculations, and I urge you not to, because it just carries you away into a world of, I don't know what, just worrying for nothing and for no reason. Anyway, you shouldn't be so carried away with the news. The news shouldn't drag you out. The idea of the news is just to know and walk away. To know, and that's it. You know, there's need to know. There's okay. All right. He said, obviously, as he heard him, Iran will not have a nuclear weapon, and that is basically 99.99% of the deal. In Iran, President Masoud Pezeshkian called the agreement an important step, but he warned that a final deal does not exist yet. What the US and Iran have agreed to so far is only a document that outlines their intentions, but it is not a finalized contract, so negotiations will still continue. While this is ongoing, Iran's military promised to make their defense systems stronger. Iran's military chief, Ahmed Vahidi, also said that part of the deal is releasing Iran's blocked money, the sanctioned money. He also said this is about $24 billion in frozen money, plus a $300 billion fund to rebuild Iran. And he made Iran's thinking clear, saying, first we take the money, but then, well, that's Iran's version. The American side tells a very different story. Vice President J.D. Vance said no money has been handed over, and he denied that the $24 billion in unfrozen money is being released at all. The United Arab Emirates also pushed back and formally denied reports that it is releasing billions of dollars to Iran. Vance added that the details are still being worked out, and even Republicans are skeptical. Trump warned, after a reporter asked him, if Senator Lindsey Graham is a little bit skeptical about the Iran deal. And he said, well, is he skeptical? I mean, he doesn't trust me? Well, tell him he's in big trouble if he doubts the Iran deal. As for the $300 billion fund, Vance said it is only something Iran could get later, and only if it keeps every part of the deal. And even then, that money would not come from the US government at all. It wouldn't come from the taxpayer money. It wouldn't come from it would come from private companies that want to invest in Iran once sanctions are lifted. Trump also said the same thing about removal of sanctions or financial punishments of Iran. He explained it's behavioral. If they do what they're supposed to do, that starts taking effect. Means, say, the sanctions relief. Trump said the talk of a $300 million payout is fake news, spread by the Democrats, he calls them. What the reports actually describe is a $300 billion fund, with a B, to rebuild Iran. But that money would not come from the US taxpayer or the government. Now, it would come from private companies in Europe, Asia, and America. That's want to invest in Iran once sanctions are obviously lifted. We said that already. Anyway, in the Strait of Hormuz, the US military is getting ready to fully lift the blockade by Friday. This means that no one needs to pay toll fees for the next 60 days, and ships are now free to deliver oil. Like I said yesterday, Trump said, let it flow. Now, but Iran's foreign ministry said that they may still collect what they call maritime service fees in the future, and these are not toll fees. They also plan to talk with Gulf countries who feel bullied in the area. We still have 3 days before Friday, obviously. This means that the fighting is still happening on the strait. This week, 3 explosions were reported in the south of Qasem Island. Right around the same time, several American military planes suddenly turned off their tracking signals and disappeared from the flight tracking maps. These were refueling airplanes and Navy spy planes. When planes go quiet like this, it usually means the American military is about to do something in the area. A delivery ship was also attacked near Aden, Yemen, yesterday. The UK's Maritime Trade Operations Group says that the attacker came in a small boat with 4 armed crew members. Moving forward, Trump is now in France for the G7 summit, like I reported yesterday. There, French President Emmanuel Macron strongly praised the newly signed nuclear agreement with Iran. He called the deal a major step for world peace and promised that France would help support it. Trump also spoke highly of the agreement and said, I think a lot of great things are going to happen in the Middle East right now. And very importantly, the oil price is plummeting down and the stock market is shooting up like a rocket today, he said. The Iran deal that we made is going to bring a lot of success to the world. Later in the summit, Macron is hosting a special dinner for Trump at the Palace of Versailles. Versailles, whatever. They will celebrate the upcoming 250th anniversary of American independence. Trump also bragged about money coming into America, saying total foreign investment is heading toward $19 trillion, with Qatar alone putting in more than $1 trillion. Those are his numbers. Well, the actual Qatar deal on paper is $1.2 trillion. Anyway, let's continue to the news. Back in Israel, leaders are working to understand what the US-Iran deal means for their country. Top leaders warned that it could leave Israel facing Iran and its terror groups with less American help. It also faces pushback from the public. The Israeli military and spy group Mossad as well. It also creates fear among American Jewish leaders. Politicians like Itamar Ben-Gvir, Bezalel Smotrich, and Ynnon Magel shared stronger concerns about this. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke to the country on Monday evening. He declared that the threat of immediate destruction is gone, but he explained that the success depends on the shrinking to Iran's ability to threaten its neighbors. In fact, the recent actions saved Israel from a nuclear threat. On top of this, Iran has already suffered hundreds of billions of dollars to nearly $1 trillion in damage. It will need many, many years to recover. Netanyahu also announced that Israel destroyed its missile factories, Air Force, Navy, and most of the 150,000 rockets held by Hezbollah. Though he admitted he does not know all the details of the deal. In fact, Channel 12 reported that Israel asked the Americans to see the text of the agreement and it was turned down. He also said about his relationship with Trump, quote, Trump and I are partners. We often agree and at times we disagree. And then he warned, you can stretch the rope of Americans, but you must not tear it. Let's talk about Kosher Skinny Shot. Kosher Skinny Shot, your future health is being shaped by the choices you make right now. Kosher Skinny Shot is designed to help you lose weight, build healthier habits, and stay committed to your goals. It will make you feel lighter, more easier, and live stronger. Don't wait for a wake-up call to start taking care of yourself, obviously. Kosher Skinny Shot is the fear before the makkah. The best time to take control of your health is now. Sign up at 845-456-8924. Again, the number is 845-456-8924. And because we at On Edge partnered with them, with Kosher Skinny Shot, one lucky winner gets a free month. Call my number on 845-671 and 1775. Press 5. That's again 845-671-1775. Press 5. Leave your name and telephone number very clearly after the beep and Kosher Skinny Shot on Edge, and you will enter to win. And maybe you'll be the lucky winner of 1 month with Kosher Skinny Shot. Quick disclaimer, compound medications are not FDA approved and require a doctor's approval and prescription. So for safety information, you can always call and contact Kosher Skinny Shot and ask your own provider, obviously. Now on to Gaza. Netanyahu ignored Iranian demands to include it in the deal, Gaza. He insisted Israeli troops will hold safe zones in Gaza, Syria and Lebanon for as long as needed. This includes a Beaufort and Ali Al-Tahir summit, obviously, but J.D. Vance said that he is confident that Israel will join the agreement later because the US has all the power. In response, Lebanese Parliament Speaker Nabi Berri talked about the US-Iran Memorandum of Understanding. He said that Israel is not entitled to freedom of action. Because of this, it must leave southern Lebanon within the same 60-day US-Iran negotiation period. Hezbollah press office also confirmed that it received support from Iran, obviously. Iran said that no final nuclear agreement with the US will be signed unless Israel withdraws from Lebanon. But Trump said that that he considers the Lebanon war a minor one, and that a real deal can survive even with what's happening right now. Still, he said that Hezbollah is the little pinprick that constantly rears its head. Trump criticized how Israel handled this terrorist group, saying Israel's been fighting Hezbollah for too long and too many people are being killed. And you don't have to knock down an entire apartment house every single time you're looking for somebody. He also explained, quote, I've had a great relationship with Bibi, but now Bibi has to be more responsible and with respect to Lebanon. I'm not happy with the way Israel has handled themselves with Lebanon and Hezbollah. Now Trump wants Syria to take over. He praised Syrian President, Syrian President Ahmad al-Shara's leadership skills, and then said, let Syria take care of Hezbollah, because let's be honest, I think they do a way better job of doing it. On the ground in Lebanon, Israeli troops pushed past the yellow line, the border line set to the ceasefire, to destroy Hezbollah positions. Lebanese army soldiers pulled back from one southern village as the Israelis moved in, and the Israeli military is now getting ready for the chance that Iran fires on them directly. For the civilians of South Lebanon, they have now been allowed to go back home thanks to the US and Iran deal. Long lines of cars headed home after nearly 4 months of war. One Lebanese man, however, returned to his home and found a surprise. That wasn't fun. What you're hearing is right. Yes, those are little, goats. He found his house full of goats. His house was still standing, but was now a home to a large number of goats. This is not unusual, since many displaced animals hid themselves in buildings during the attacks. Iran is preparing to connect its electrical grid with Qatar. Tehran's energy minister Abbas Aliabadi announced this move today. He said that the studies are in the final stage and the project is ready to begin. He also said that Iran is also looking into linking its power grid to other Gulf countries. The announcement follows a report that the Washington Post on Friday posted about a secret arrangement between the two countries. According to the report, Qatar offered Iran a secret deal before Operations Roaring Lion and Epic Fury began on February 28th. The deal was in exchange for a promise that Iran would not attack Qatar's energy infrastructure. Now there is more good news in Qatar for everybody. It's getting ready to quickly restart its massive liquefied natural gas exports in the area. That is, once the Strait of Hormuz is fully open. Qatar Energy told buyers it plans to reach 50% capacity 1 month after safe passage is restored and 80% within 2 months. But the remaining 20% of their production will take years to rebuild. That section of the facility was damaged by Iranian missile strikes back in March. There are reports that say Iraqi Prime Minister Ali al-Zaidi met with US President envoy the presidential envoy Tom Barrack. They met in Baghdad today because the US believes that he can break up the Islamic terrorists linked to Iran. Al-Zaidi has also been invited to the White House in July. Iraq. Imagine Iraq becoming another normal nation again. A massive new rehabilitation hospital is being built in Tel Aviv. This was made possible after Mexican Jewish businessmen donated $69 million. The Jusidman family Foundation is giving the money to help build the new $390 million medical campus, named the Jusidman Jusedman Rehabilitation Hospital. It will be the largest rehab center in Israel once it's finished. The new facility is scheduled to open in 2032 in northern Tel Aviv. It will have 540 beds and treat around 10,000 patients a year. It will also have a special clinic for wounded soldiers. The foundation was made by Daniel Jusedman, who owns Latin America's largest hardware manufacturing company. In the past, he also helped sponsor the Trauma and Emergency Medicine wing at the Rabin Medical Center and the Yad Sarah Center in Be'er Sheva. YS Capital Group is always there for you when you need to get a loan, especially when you don't need to have the middleman involved. You can just go directly to the lender itself. You need some money, you have an investment building you want to invest in, 718-831-2168. And you know what the best part about this is? That you don't have to pay any closing costs. You can call them on 718-831-2168. That's YS Capital Group. Israel's Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir cancelled a planned trip to the United States at the very last minute. He said there were sudden problems with his travel visa and that it was hard to get the visa approved. The trouble started when the U.S. Embassy told him that he had to give his fingerprints for the application. When he was told to do this, he chose not to give his fingerprints. He decided to cancel the whole trip instead. 8 people are dead after a U.S. military plane crashed in California. It was a U.S. Air Force B-52 Stratofortress, Stratofortress is called, which is a nuclear-capable bomber plane. It crashed just after takeoff during a test flight in Edwards Air Force Base. The military confirmed that nobody could survive the crash and that all 8 crew members had died. The victims included military members in uniform, government workers, and 2 Boeing employees. This is the first time a B-52 bomber has crashed since one went down in Guam in 2008. Emergency crews rushed to the scene right away. To handle the emergency, Edwards Air Force Base shut down its runway. They sent all incoming planes somewhere else, and the base also stopped all normal visitor passes. The cause of this crash is not clear right now, and the military is looking into what exactly happened. Boeing obviously put out an official statement of apology to the families and condolences to their 2 workers' families as well, the ones that lost their lives on the plane. An immigration and customs enforcement officer was hit by a car Monday morning, an ICE officer. This happened during an arrest in Manahawkin, New Jersey. Now, agents tried to stop the man's car, but the driver refused to stop and drove his car right onto the officer. After being hit, the officer shot his gun at the car. The driver ran away from the scene, obviously. He is identified as an illegal immigrant from Peru named Friedrich Castillo Ormeno. Police are currently searching for him. The U.S. Justice Department has started a criminal check into California Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom and his wife. Newsom claimed Trump ordered the check to attack him politically. He said that this is happening because he is thinking about running for president, all while repeatedly speaking out against Trump. Trump has previously called him nicknames like New Scum. But now, he may be doing more than that. Newsom says federal agents have been visiting the homes of family, friends, and past workers, obviously. They also are demanding records of and misusing the court system and even digging through years of random papers hoping to find a crime. Federal sources say several checks actually began about a year ago. They say these did not start with the Justice Department. The governor compared his situation to similar checks into U.S. Senator Adam Schiff, New York Attorney General Letitia James, and former FBI Director James Comey. Lawyers failed to charge James Comey, and one case was thrown out. On Monday evening, well, it was thrown off for a different reason, obviously. On Monday evening, Newsom's office filed a formal request. They want to force the government to release public papers about the investigation. The White House told reporters to ask the Justice Department, and the department refused to speak about it. A fire attack aimed at UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer's home has now been connected to Russia. On Monday morning, 2 men were convicted for a crime, including a 22-year-old Ukrainian builder named Roman Lavrinovich, that was his name. Based on the investigation, Lavrinovich was hired by a Russian handler who offered him money and a Russian citizenship. That handler has been identified as Evgeny Lukshin. He's a 23-year-old Russian diplomat with connections to top officials in Moscow. The 2 men were sent to jail, but Lukshin got away and was never caught. The attack was part of a larger Russian campaign using the Telegram app. Russian operatives reportedly created fake online groups on Telegram to organize vandalism and create fear across the UK. The Russian embassy strongly denied the claims and said that they have no aggressive intentions towards Britain. During the G7 summit, Trump said that his administration might soon bring back sanctions on Russian oil. The US had temporarily lifted the sanctions during the war, obviously with Iran, but that was meant to help the global energy shortage. Now that oil is flowing again, Trump said that they will bring back the sanctions on Russia again. Protobyte! No sanctions on that. If you build a website and if you build a program, software on your own using AI, you're literally sanctioning yourself. Well, if you spend the money in the right places, like Protobyte, you will thank Hashem. You will thank me later. 347-354-1237. Again, number is 347-354-1237. You can always visit their website on proto-byte.com. That's Protobyte. Mention on Edge for a good deal. An 80-year-old woman with advanced Alzheimer's disease suddenly became healthy again. And it's thanks to high dose of magic mushroom, shrooms as they know it today. The woman had been in a severe decline for a decade, obviously. She even barely spoke for 5 years. With permission from her guardians, she was enrolled in a medical trial in Brazil. There she was given a 5-gram dose of, I think it's called psilocybin, mushroom. This is an active chemical found in magic mushrooms. Researchers say that 19 hours after taking the dose, she woke up from a deep sleep, and then she started talking about her life for several hours. Over the next few weeks, she was able to walk independently, dress herself, and recognize her family. A second dose, a month later, brought even more improvements. Medical experts warn that this is just a single case study and not a proven cure. They strongly advise people not to try this at home, obviously. And then they also explain that the treatment is still experimental and has not been approved by the FDA. Well, if that's the case, and that might be a cure, many people we know might be dancing in the streets right now. Unbelievable. 845-622-1111. That's Arrive Express. 845-254-1111. That's Arrive Express as well. Fleet in Monroe in KJ. Now, all you have to remember is that when you need a taxi, you order Arrive Express. Because why bother looking for other services which you don't know and don't trust, or not aware about, when you can trust a Heimischer service like Arrive Express? Knows you, knows what you need, gets you places. Arrive Express. All right, my friends, we will finish the news here. But before we do so, I promised I'm going to show you something funny. Trump was speaking at the G7 summit with Qatarian emir and, some rich people, obviously. And he spoke very low. So listen to this.
Country, how we can make our relationships even better. Well, thank you, my friend. See, when you're that rich, you can speak that lowly. I was just wondering, can anybody hear that? But when you're so rich, you have such confidence that you don't have to do any strain to the voice. He's great.
Anyway, and this is my news for today, my friends. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and we'll see each other minutes from tomorrow. I did do a segment with my Chava Moshe from Jackson yesterday about the Iran deal. If you want to listen to it, it was released this morning. It's in Yiddish on Yiddish24.com. Now again, anyone who doesn't know about this program, please lead them to this place. It's on Yiddish24 mainly in Yiddish, but if you only understand English, this is where you should go. You should find me here, subscribe, like, and share it with everyone. Let's grow this channel in English as well. All the best. Hatzlacha Rabba. We'll see each other. Be'ez Hashem tomorrow.
Your daily report of the news of the last 24 hours, powered by Yiddish24, provided to you by The Click.